What's up, curious youngsters? If we're always wasting time doing useless things or watching millions of videos, ending up with those weird YouTube recommendations, why not spend a few minutes on Mr. Curiosity instead? Learning 30 totally epic facts that you'll forget in 10 minutes, but these aren't just any facts. They're going to leave you completely amazed. For this and much more, these are 30 things you didn't know 5 minutes ago. 1. One of the biggest fears people have is the end of the world. For many, this could occur due to a super meteorite's impact. Well, this is the Fukan meteorite, which is approximately 4.5 billion years old. It was discovered in China in 2014, and before they started cutting it into pieces, it weighed more than 1,000 kilos. This piece of art is known as the loaf of bread, although it's not made of bread, and it's not edible. In fact, it's actually made of glass, and it's a true work of art. Each color was carefully layered by Lorenz Stambo, a master glass blower. And each slice of the bread is valued at approximately $5,000. How delicious. 3. If you thought you were getting lucky, you have to know that a fisherman from the Philippines found a 34-kilo pearl with an estimated value of $100 million. But since he didn't know its value, the fisherman kept it under his bed for 10 years as a good luck charm until he finally discovered the treasure that changed his life. This is Thumbelina, who made it into the Guinness records. I won't make a Shrek face. For being the smallest little horse in the world, weighing only 26 kilos and standing 43 centimeters tall. Oh, and did you think Fur Elise was cute? 5? A pretty dark fact, but not a minor one. It's just that nowadays, all the serial killers we know are those who just made some mistake. Had you ever thought about what happens to all those who were never found guilty? But says, how scary. In Japan, since they're always way ahead of the rest of the world, they created an exclusive Tom and Jerry museum where they're only going to show all the deformations of our characters throughout the different episodes while they receive various hits. 7. According to several biologists and specialists, the brain of elephants reacts to humans in the same way that the human brain reacts to puppies. Apparently, they think we are cute and adorable, chubby and cute. 8. As we saw in previous videos, in the nature of Australia, anything you can think of exists. And in the northern part, there is a plant called Crotalaria, which has leaves that look a lot like birds called hummingbirds. Apparently, these can be found on beaches and sand dunes. 9. In some cities in the Netherlands, they turned several bus stops into bee stops. Yes, that's right. And this was done to stop the alarming disappearance of this species, which not only pollinates decorative flowers, but also allows us to eat our fruits and vegetables. Flowers and pollinating bees are present throughout the entire process, aiding in their reproduction. Thank Barry Benson Diaz for pushing the limits of what's possible with ample resources and leisure time. A young man named Luis Padron underwent more than 30 procedures to look like an elf. In addition, his obsession made him spend more than $30,000 to make this change. Well, but at least he could work as an extra in The Lord of the Rings 11. We love Guinness records, and there is a very particular one. During the day, Sumiko Iwamura works at a restaurant in Japan, but at night she becomes the oldest disc jockey in the world. And in case you didn't believe me, she even has the Guinness Record Certificate 12. The Sylvia Hotel in Vancouver, Canada changes color with the seasons because it is covered by a large green wall made up of different plants that, especially in autumn and spring, disguise the great building 13. Taking care of a plant is not easy at all. They need water, but not too much. They need sunlight, but not too much. And well, to make it easier to take care of these living beings, Lua was created, a smart flower pot with an LED screen that shows a certain face depending on the plant's mood. It has 14 expressions for being thirsty, sick, cold, or tired. Julia Butterfly, an American activist, lived in a 1,800-year-old tree for 738 days straight to stop a company from cutting it down. An American activist named Julia Butterfly lived 738 consecutive days in a tree that was more than 1,800 years old to stop a company from cutting it down. And no, it's not a coincidence at all that there's an episode of The Simpsons in honor of Julia, called Lisa and Her Love for Trees. 15. A man was looking for his old neighborhood on Google Maps and found the remains of a man who had been missing for 22 years. Yes, that's right. A former resident of the Grand Island neighborhood in Florida discovered a submerged car in the middle of a lagoon through Google Maps. He alerted the authorities, who discovered a dire situation. A man who had died several years ago was inside that car. 16. An innovative invention from recent years is connected to the severe pollution Earth is facing. It's the smoke-free bicycle, which is responsible for inhaling polluted air. It will clean it and then expel it so that the cyclist can breathe it. That's great. 17. One of the most impressive and strangest species in nature is clearly birds. And this is what the mandarin duck looks like, which is considered one of the cutest animals on Earth. 18. In the world's most stupid and useless records, we found that the company Paris Peru achieved a new world record for the largest Jeep in the world. This can be compared to a 22-story building in height, weighing a total of 5 tons, and it was built by 50 people over approximately 6 months. Well, let's continue. 19. Asian countries are developing the latest technologies and innovating before anyone else. But also, they do it with a unique style that makes, for example, in China, there is a solar power plant shaped like a panda. These Chinese people are really crazy. 20. Prairie dogs are probably the cutest animals you'll see in a long time. These are relatives of marmots and usually greet each other with kisses as if they were human couples, since apparently it's the way they recognize each other. 21. Surely nobody knew this, but Niue is a country in the South Pacific Ocean, known as the Rock of Polynesia, which depends on New Zealand. So what's so curious about this, Mr. Curiosity? Well, it's just that since the year 2001, coins started being produced in Niue, with characters from different cartoons and movies like Mickey Mouse, Star Wars, Pokemon, and anything else you can think of. 22. There are many types of sharks, and the way they reproduce also varies greatly. And although most of them reproduce through eggs, it varies a lot. Some sharks, like fish, leave their eggs to be fertilized externally. And then we come across the great bull shark, which has its embryos growing in eggs inside its body. The first shark, even before birth, feeds on its unfortunate siblings. But what a horror ventre. Almost everyone is very afraid of snakes, especially after having seen Snakes on a Plane. A very trashy movie. The thing is, not all of them should scare us since, for example, the snake called Leptotelos scarly is the smallest in the world, measuring only 10 centimeters long. 24. The legendary Finnish phone company Nokia didn't just dedicate itself to making the most durable phones on the market throughout its history, did it? However, similar to Samsung, its original focus was entirely different. And in this case, we have to know that Nokia used to manufacture weapon parts and ammunition. Yes, it's unbelievable. 25. The white sand of Sardinia, an island in Italy, is considered a public asset, and it is strictly forbidden to take it off the island. Wow, what a strange law. Yeah, it is. And maybe that's because a French couple was arrested in Italy for carrying 40 kilos of sand in their car as a souvenir. But it's considered a crime, so they were arrested. 26 in facts that are really, really crazy about humanity. We found that the Austrian Adam Reiner is the only man in history who has been classified as both a dwarf and a giant at the same time. Since when he was 21 years old, he was only 1 meter and 18 centimeters tall. But 10 years later, at 31, he reached 2 meters and 18 centimeters. There's a dream job called Netflix Tagger, which involves watching many Netflix movies and series. Then add tags with category and other data information. According to some job websites, a tagger can earn up to $70,000 a year. Where do I sign up? Let's test your super brain with 28 questions. And did you notice that even if you try to scream, the inner voice in your head always has the same volume? Yeah, I was left like that too. 29. Man's best friend has a lot of curiosities, and one of them is impressive when you see it in slow motion. which is that since dogs don't have the ability to suck with their mouths, they use their tongues to form a kind of pouch or spoon so they can drink water. You probably didn't know, my friend. Don't blush, 30. But these red lips don't belong to a person. They actually belong to a plant known as the hooker's lips, a tropical plant found in the jungles of several Central American countries and all over South America. Before I go, let me greet the subscribers. First of all, a really big shout out to WalnutCrin39, who's commenting like a real champ on every video. Another big shout out to Elio Gonzalez Maldonado, who requested a greeting. I'm also going to send a big greeting and welcome to Francis Avize Ramirez, who's new to the channel. Shout out to Ivan Eduardo for his frequent comments on recent videos. And the last shout out goes to Miguel Universe, who was faster than Lightning McQueen, commenting on the last video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell for new video notifications. I'm Sign New Curiosity.